I get it, you're staring at a mountain of NAS options, and the last thing you want is to drop a few $1,000s on a box that ends up gathering dust because it either doesn't speak your language or can't keep up with the workloads you've got. You're probably wondering if this 8-bay beast really delivers the kind of speed and reliability a small media studio, a data-heavy design firm, or an IT shop with a handful of virtual machines needs. Or if you'd be better off wiring a couple of cheaper units together and saving yourself the hassle. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through what this Kinupute desktop NAS actually looks like once you plug it into your office or home lab, and why that matters more than the glossy spec sheet you see on the product page. The first thing you notice is the size, about a foot wide, a little under a foot tall, and roughly 9 inches deep, so it fits neatly on a standard workbench or a dedicated rack without hogging floor space. The chassis opens to reveal 8 hot swap bays, each ready for a 3.5-inch drive, which is the sweet spot for most businesses that need terabytes of capacity without constantly swapping disks. Because the bays are hot swap, you can replace a failing drive on the fly, which is a huge time saver if you've got a 24/7 editing suite that can't afford downtime. What really sets this machine apart is the networking. Two 10 GB ports give you a combined throughput that can easily exceed the 1 GB ceiling most small business NAS units sit on. In practice, that means if you're moving large video files from a workstation to the storage array, you'll see transfer speeds that are more in the realm of 58 gigabytes per second rather than the 100,150 megabytes per second you'd get with a typical gigabit link. For a team of 3 or 4 editors working on 8K footage, those numbers translate into less waiting and more cutting. The ports can be aggregated, so if you have a switch that supports LACP, you can treat the 2 ports as a single, faster pipe, ideal if you're building a small in-house cloud where multiple users need simultaneous high-speed access. Inside, Kinupute has loaded a 16-core AI Ultra 9 processor with 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X memory clocked at 8,400 metric tons per second, plus a 1 terabyte SSD that serves as the boot drive for Windows 11 Pro. That combination isn't just about raw compute, it's about handling the kind of mixed workloads that a modern creative workflow throws at you. I've seen small firms run multiple Docker containers, host a few virtual machines, and stream transcoded video from the same box without the system choking. The AI-focused cores help with tasks like real-time video encoding or AI-assisted image tagging, which means the NAS can do more than just sit there as a dumb storage shelf. It can actually process data on the fly. Now, let's talk about the user experience. Because it ships with Windows 11 Pro, you're not stuck learning a proprietary OS or a web-based admin panel unless you want to. You can map drives, set up scheduled backups, or install third-party NAS management software just like you would on a regular PC. The 4 video outputs supporting up to 8K or 4K at 60 Hz make it possible to use the machine as a secondary workstation for monitoring or even as a thin client for a small control room. I know a few users who run a dedicated monitor off the NAS to keep an eye on render queues or to display a live dashboard of storage health, and the high-resolution support means the UI stays crisp even when you've got multiple windows open. So who should actually consider buying this? First, any small to medium-sized business that needs a single, centralized storage solution capable of handling multiple high-bandwidth streams at once. Think post-production houses, architectural firms with large CAD files, or IT departments that want to host a few VMs without buying a separate server rack. If you already have a 10 GB network backbone, this NAS will slot right in and start delivering its promised speeds without you having to rewire. It also makes sense for power users who want a one-box solution that can double as a compute node, those who want to run AI inference jobs or real-time transcoding without adding another server to the mix. On the flip side, if you're a home user who only needs a couple of terabytes for movies and photos, the price point and feature set will feel overkill. The dual 10 GB ports are great, but you'll have to purchase a compatible switch or NICs, which adds extra cost. Likewise, if your workflow is strictly archival, meaning you just write files once and rarely access them, the high-speed network and powerful CPU may never see the light of day, making the investment hard to justify. Also, Because the unit runs Windows 11 Pro, you'll need to manage Windows updates and licensing, which can be a bit of a headache if you are expecting a plug-and-play NAS that just runs its own firmware. A practical weakness that shows.